We covered this on the Transformers Slag podcast live stream just a couple of days ago on Saturday night, but I want to kind of flesh it out a little more and make sense of what's going on here and really go through all the fine details because we didn't have enough time really during the live stream to cover every little piece of information on this. So let's talk about this brand new revelation of all these other deluxes that we're going to be getting with the Transformers Earthspark line, as well as some interesting twists and turns, potentially maybe even spoiler related. The Dr. Meridian Mandroid, our Build-A-Figure for our deluxes, is also going to possess. Now, this information comes courtesy of the Australian Sydney Oz Comic Con that just passed last weekend. And Hasbro had a booth there, and they had a whole bunch of brand new in-package samples of the brand new Transformers Earthspark line, and nothing really new that we haven't already seen in terms of product, but the big news that came from it all was on the back of the packaging of our deluxes was a reveal of what the other deluxes would be later in 2023, as well as characters we did not even know that would be featured in the show. So that was pretty intense and interesting, to say the least. But Hasbro asked people that were at the convention that were taking photos to please not share online the photography of the back of the packaging for these figures, because I guess Hasbro at some point wants to reveal these themselves at a possible future convention, maybe one of the Pulse live streams that we have coming up very soon. Whatever it might be, they didn't want those images to go out there, so there was kind of this understanding between the attendees and Hasbro. One of these images got out. It was self-censored by one of the posters, but you could still kind of see a little bit of it. And the individual also said, while Hasbro asked that we cover up the image, we could still talk about what those characters were. So we have here, on top of the regular deluxes that we already know of, Bumblebee being number 1, Megatron being number 2, and Twitch being number 3, as they label it here, Terran Twitch. Characters number 4, 5, 6, and 7 we're going to talk about today. And 4, 5, 6, and 7 are Optimus Prime, which is pretty impressive that we're getting yet again another Optimus Prime. And now he covers every price point in the Earthspark line. I think even Bumblebee doesn't have that claim. Shockwave. Shockwave's a cool one also to see kind of return. Grimlock, and a brand new one here, Nightshade. Now, when it comes to the deluxe price point and why it even exists is because when we had Cyberverse, it was the beginning of this idea that the more media-based Transformer lines were going to have multiple price points to target multiple different audiences of different age groups and kind of cover all the different Transformer collectors of all different walks of life. The one-steps, the gimmick stuff, so you could have birthday presents for the younger kids but still have something that isn't a simple, cheap one-step. Like, there's all these different things. And with Cyberverse, the Warrior class really was that version that is a deluxe class, but still not complicated enough for a younger kid to play with. And a majority of Cyberverse's lifespan had the Warrior class being that kind of deluxe price point that we would normally collect. Later in the lifespan of Cyberverse, almost too late in my opinion, we finally got the deluxe price point added to it, and a lot of those key characters got much better toys added to it. It also brought in the Build-A-Figure idea with Cyberverse. Now, we had Build-A-Figure Transformer stuff in the past, like Transmutate with the Beast Wars 10th anniversary line, but this kind of brought this back to make it more of a mainstay, and we had the Build-A-Figure with McAdams, and that was done across at least initially the first couple of waves of the deluxe class with Cyberverse, and now we have it back here today with Dr. Meridian Mandroid. So that's pretty cool. Now, again, we're going to get Optimus Prime. Well, according to what they have here, Optimus Prime is going to come with the left leg. Shockwave's going to come with the left robot arm. You know, there's all these little pieces and everything that they're talking about here. We'll probably go into that deeper in a moment, but the big thing I want to take away from this is we have Optimus Prime, we have Shockwave that's going to be coming back, Grimlock, which, again, we can't really see much from that censored image, but there's two little protrusions sticking out, And then we got this character Nightshade. And what we could see almost something that looks like a Seeker wing. There is a possibility, and this is just an assumption, don't take it for fact, but it is a possibility that Nightshade might be one of those repainted Seeker jets that we saw in the trailer. Maybe a brand new female character. The Nightshade trademark has been something that's been within Hasbro's history for many years. If you go all the way back to like 1988, there was a G.I. Joe vehicle called Nightshade. It was part of their Night Force subline that they had back in the day. And then also in 1988, 1989, when Hasbro had that toy line Cops, there was a character that was part of the Crooks called Nightshade. She was like a cat burglar character. Now, granted, she never got a toy, but Cops didn't know, what would be the future of that line, so they always put a whole bunch of characters in the show that possessed Hasbro trademarks because one day they might be made into toys. There was a female character on the good guys of Cops called Mainframe, which is both a G.I. Joe and a Transformer trademark in its DNA and connection. So Nightshade also had that history there too. And recently, Hasbro filed for Nightshade, brand new trademark, and it was going to be used on the BotBots line. Unfortunately, that didn't happen because post-2020, BotBots and its retail space and product kind of went into limbo. Nightshade was going to be a repaint of Face Ace, which was the safety goggles BotBots character, which does exist. You can buy that one. But then they were going to repaint it into like night vision goggles and call it Nightshade, and they advertised it. They showed some pictures of it online. And then, like I said, post-2020, we haven't had any word of, BotBot stuff in retail space. We've had a lot of advertising. Hey, we're going to be doing this. Hey, we're going to be doing that. Hey, there's this and this and pre-orders. But nothing has shown up in people's hands just yet, let alone in a Walmart, Target, or otherwise. So I guess it's them going, we got to use this Nightshade trademark. We ended up not putting out a product despite the fact that we were going to do something with it. So we got to use that trademark. So they're putting it here with this Seeker Jet, potentially Seeker Jet. I could be wrong. But so that's a new character. So that's interesting. Another thing, too, I want to cover also is Dr. Mandroid himself. So he comes in 7 pieces across these 7 figures. And according to what they said here, figures 1 to 5, so Bumblebee, Megatron, Twitch, Optimus Prime, and Shockwave will be available at launch in early 2023. And the last 2, Grimlock and Nightshade, will be available in late 2023. So I'm going to assume Q3, Q4, quarter of 2023. So it's going to take you a whole year to get all of these together to have your complete Dr. Meridian Mandroid. But what's interesting about the image on the back here, too, is when we first saw Dr. Mandroid at San Diego Comic-Con back in July, that just passed in 2022, we didn't know that he actually had interchangeable arms, at least on one side. It might also be a little bit of a spoilery kind of thing in relation to the character, because Bumblebee comes with his right robot arm, let's emphasize that. Megatron comes with his left human arm. Twitch comes with his head and torso. Optimus Prime comes with his left leg. Shockwave comes with his left robot arm, which actually kind of works with Shockwave if you buy the toy on its own, to just come with an extra robot arm on the side. It's as if he was working on something. Grimlock comes with the right leg, and Nightshade comes with the lower torso and the crotch area. So what this is kind of suggesting is that Dr. Meridian at some point, and they kind of teased it a little bit in the Earthspark kind of trailer, and also a little bit in the panel that they had just the past weekend, that he's going to go a little crazy and start swapping out his limbs with robotic limbs. And the fact that he has a human arm, and you could replace that human arm with a robotic arm that looks very Cybertronian that he probably took off of a Transformer, might be a little bit of a something going on there. Very interesting. But yeah, either way, this is what we got. So expect some more deluxes in the future. Hopefully we'll get some images, and it'll be pretty cool.